Hello, Broadway Besties, and welcome to From the Mezzanine, the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans. Here we talk about all things Broadway news, Broadway grosses, and let's be honest, all the tea and gossip that happens week to week, as we all know it, in the Broadway stratosphere. And I am your humbled servant, your host, Lindsey Stone. And I've got a very exciting episode of From the Mezzanine for you guys because it has been a very exciting time in general to be a theater fan. We just had the Broadway Flea, the best day of the year. It is like Christmas Day for theater kids. And I'm going to break it down with you guys right here on From the Mezzanine. What shows made the most money at the Broadway Flea, what your girl took home, or lack thereof, and all the things in between. So, before we get to the Broadway Flea, I have a show to recap with the Broadway Besties. We haven't had a show to recap since last week. Literally, what am I saying? I felt like I hadn't seen a show in so long, and it was 1 week. I have a sickness. I'm ill. I can't go more than 1 week without seeing a show. But that's okay. It's good for the podcast. It's good for the plot. And I'm here for it. And I bet what you can hear is I am super congested. I am so sorry. You know what I thought of this week? I was like, wow, because I low-key got sick this week. With a cold, nothing more. I'm on my Dayquil and I'm doing fine. I'm on the come up. It's all good. But I have only ever missed 2 weeks of From the Mezzanine, and that was this past summer when your girl needed a little bit of a break because she was on vacation, and that is the only reason I've ever missed From the Mezzanine. Praise be that I've never gotten super sick and was unable to record the pod. But rain or shine, sickness and in health, I am here for the Broadway Besties because that is my commitment every single week. And honestly, I'm making it into so much more than it is. It's not that. It is hard to make a podcast, I'm not going to lie. But it's not that hard to find an hour of your day every single week to sit down and gab about Broadway. It's honestly so much fun. And of course, I get so much out of it. I hope that you guys enjoy your little Broadway bestie time with yours truly because I am so happy that you're here. That being said, I just wanted to give you a forewarning that it's a good thing that podcasts are through your phone, even though I hope I'm not contagious. But you can probably hear it in my voice because unfortunately, that's how you listen to a pod. Is through your headphones, and your girl is low-key down bad, just with a little sniffling, sneezing moment. But I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm on the come up. Don't worry about me. So the show I need to recap with you guys is Punch on Broadway at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. It's an MTC production. I saw it. I was moved. I really, really enjoyed this play, and that is saying potentially a lot because it is a 2-act play, and I like to steer clear of 2-act plays. They can get very long in the tooth sometimes, and for no reason. However, this is a true story, and it really captivated me. So before I tell you what I thought of the production, I want to tell you about the plot. It is a true story, like I said, that follows this man, Jacob, who it is set in England, and he is a bit of a rascal. He definitely struggles at home. He has some diagnoses that affect his behavior, and he is definitely developing. He's in high school, and he's running with the wrong crowd. And there's this one fateful night where they're all out partying and drinking. And it was kind of like I had to remind myself that they're supposed to be in high school because in England, the drinking age is lower than 21. And it's very common for high schoolers to go out and party. And so I kind of had to remind myself that, oh, wow, it's a true story about this young boy who makes this one gut decision and it changes the rest of his life. So they're out, they're partying, they're getting wild, and his friends get in a fight, and he comes into the fight pretty disoriented, not knowing who, what, why things are happening. Just know that he wants to support his mates. And so he throws one punch to this man named James, this young man who was 28 at the time. And it puts him out cold. And about 9 days later, his parents have to cut off his life support. It's extremely heartbreaking that one instinctual moment of throwing a single punch ended somebody's life. And so that plot alone is extremely captivating and riveting. And he takes you on this journey of this night. And then eventually he goes to, I think, what is like the equivalent of like a juvie prison. So like a prison for young people. He serves his time. He's convicted of not murder, but manslaughter, because it is found that it wasn't necessarily the punch that ended James's life. It was him hitting his head. And there wasn't any like premeditation in that punch. He did not know this boy before. I shouldn't call him a boy. He was 28, but this man before. So, it was really just, some might say, an accident. Anyways, so he serves his time, he comes out, and he has a decision. Is he going to fall back into his old ways? Or is he going to make something of himself? And over time, the family of James, they're really struggling. Of course, they're heartbroken. And his parents make the decision that they want to go through restorative justice, RJ, and seek justice by creating somewhat of a relationship with Jacob, the man who killed their son. And so more of that plays out in Act 2 about the restorative justice and the relationship that forms between James's parents and Jacob, and also the path that Jacob takes to change his life and move it in the proper direction. All of this is so inspiring and, for lack of a better word, entertaining to an audience member, because it is a true story. It's extremely heartbreaking. You're in the room with the parents and Jacob when they meet for the first time. The dad is like, I don't want to shake his hand, because if he shakes my hand with his right hand, that's the hand that killed my son. And it's just like a very raw story, and you learn a lot from it. I'm like, wow, in the blink of an eye, this one instinct that so many people have to resort to violence, it's like the repercussions of that, even when it doesn't even go to that level of like beating the snot out of somebody. It's a one punch and it killed somebody who is young and athletic and healthy. So I think it was like an extremely beneficial story to be told. And like, I would have never thought that something so quick and instant would have such long repercussions. And I didn't know that like somebody could be killed by just one punch. So it was very interesting. And I learned so much about grief, about the possibility of forgiveness. It was a fascinating play, only made more fascinating. I know that story, like the plot of it, sounds like enough to probably get you in the door, because it's wild. It's really like, I've never heard a story like that before. But it is taken to the next level by the way the story is told. The cast plays a number of characters, kind of like come from away, if you want to think of it like that. They're in and out of different characters. They'll put their hair up and all of a sudden they go from the therapist to the mother. And that is really, really entertaining. It's told as a story. So the lead actor, played by Will Harrison, he plays Jacob. he is taking us on this whole journey and he narrates it. And there's a lot of breaking the fourth wall. Other characters will sometimes speak to the audience. But he, for the most part, takes on the role of like the narrator, leading us through his story. And he'll go back and forth from speaking to the audience and then being in the scene. And that, as an audience member, I love the bouncing around. That's one criticism I have of plays that I've seen previously. Sometimes we sit in one scene for so long. I have a couple plays that come to mind, but that just really, for me, whenever I love being interrupted by a song, I'm a musical girly at heart. I love like how songs push the plot forward and keep you entertained. And I think what this play does really well to keep you into the story is to just like jump. Like no scene felt too long in the tooth. It felt like he was talking to the audience, he was jumping in the scene played out really tightly and quickly, and then we moved on. We were always moving on. It's a long story to tell. It spans, I would say, probably 5 to 10 years. I'm not positive about that, but it definitely spans quite a long time. So I just really loved the way it was written. Another thing, the set is really, really cool. Specifically, I loved the lighting design. It just felt like a really well thought out and delivered play. And of course, the cast was amazing. Like I mentioned, Will Harrison, I absolutely loved him. We also have our queen from Kimberly Akimbo, Victoria Clark. She was amazing. She plays James's mother, and then she also is somewhat like an ensemble member as well. And she plays Jacob's grandmother for like a few scenes. So I just loved it. I really loved the cast. I guess if I would rate it, I would genuinely give it a 10 out of 10 in terms of plays. It was fantastic, told a really captivating story. It was done flawlessly at intermission. Wow. I just felt like we were all just taking it all in. Like it just feels so good. It felt amazing. I'm eager to see what the other reviews have to say about it, but I definitely would recommend it. I would recommend it to, I think anybody could honestly benefit from this show. I don't see like one specific demographic that should see this show. I think it's just so well done that everyone will walk away learning something. And also, y'all know I'm just such a sucker for a true story. That really does it for me. Also, fun side note, Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in the audience with her son. I had no idea he was her son, but his name's like Charlie. I don't think his last name was Dreyfus, but maybe it was. I Googled him at intermission. Oops, sorry. Like I say, guys, I can't ever play it cool. I didn't talk to them. Don't worry. But I was like, I noticed her son first because he was in Sex Life of College Girls, HBO show that I love. And then I was like, wait, he's with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. He must be her son. Turns out that's the case. But that was really cool. That's always my little tidbit. If you want to see celebrities, go see a play on Broadway, because that is where they're at. Yes, they're at Hamilton. I know Cynthia Erivo was just at Hamilton. Yes, they go and see musicals too, but they really come out in droves at plays. So yes, everybody, that was Punch. Highly recommend. Amazing story. I certainly think that Will Harrison will be nominated for the Tony Award. I definitely think that he should win. I haven't seen Art. I don't know his competition, but it was an extremely heavy role, and he played it without a hitch. He was fantastic. He kind of was obviously the villain of his own story, being that he killed another person. So it was really unique that somehow the audience could like love and hate him at the same time, which is not an easy thing to do, I would assume, for an actor. But I would recommend you guys go and see the show. With that, my dear Broadway besties, that was a good recap. I enjoyed going on that journey with you all. Let's head into our Broadway grosses. If you're new to From the Mezzanine, the Broadway grosses are when we check out what are our top shows on Broadway and our lowest shows on Broadway in terms of how much money they are making week to week. Our numero uno, Time and time again, we're going to continue to see this. I was really interested in seeing how Leslie Odom Jr.'s arrival to Hamilton was going to affect the grosses, and it's almost comical how much money he is bringing in. Hamilton is our #1 show of the week at $3.6 million, 101% capacity. Get out there, see Leslie. You got to do it. He's amazing. I can't wait to do standing room for it and see it again. Wicked is way far behind at $2 million at our #2 point. We have a newcomer, everyone. I want you to think, wherever you are right now, what arrived on Broadway this past week that is just like so far away from the mezzanine coded? Like, I will probably not see the show. I don't think I'll be invited. And I don't think I've ever talked about it on From the Mezzanine. What do you think it is? But of course, it's making bukus of money. It is Waiting for Godot, starring Keanu Reeves. $1.8 million. It is our #3 show of the week. Lion King is #4. Mamma Mia, here I go again. My is #5, grossing 1.6. There is a show that I don't see. Where is it? What the heck? Something must have happened last week. Okay, we'll cover it once we get past our top 10. You might start to realize, what have we not heard yet that's been in the top 5 these past few weeks? Oh, interesting. Death Becomes Her is #6. I love to see it, grossing $1.3 million. Just in Time is right on their coattails at #7. Oh, Mary is #8 with Queenie. Jinx Monsoon. MJ is #9, and maybe Happy Ending is rounding out our top 10. So that goes to show you, yes, Andrew Barth Feldman's arrival is like steadily decreasing. Maybe Happy Ending's grosses just a little bit, but they're still doing amazingly. They have maintained their spot in the top 10, but with Darren in, they were closer to like 6 or 7. Our bottom. Now I'll tell y'all what you did not hear in the top 10. It's Art. They only had 3 shows last week. I wonder why. But that has previously been in the top 10. But I don't know. Maybe somebody was out. Our lowest grossing musical, once again, was 6. And then Operation Mincemeat. And then Hadestown. So those are our lowest grossing musicals. So we will be keeping an eye out for those guys that are just at the very bottom. It's not a good place to be. Let's get into our Broadway news, everybody. And I'm really excited because I get to talk about the Broadway Flea. First and foremost, shout out to all the Broadway besties that said hello. You guys are so cute, so cool. I adore you. You're so nice and you're so sweet. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being a Broadway bestie. Thank you for saying hi, because you made me feel like a celebrity for one day out of the year, and it goes to my head. Just kidding. It honestly doesn't. It fills me with so much joy and love. So I'm really happy that I got to run into some of you folks at the Broadway Flea. Wait, what was that? I gave a thumbs down, but I meant to do a heart. Hee. Love you guys. Okay, other than that, I have some groundbreaking news. This is going to be on the headlines of every magazine in town for the next week. Lindsey Stone, host of From the Mezzanine, baddie of Broadway. Oh, who said that? Did not buy a thing at the Broadway Flea. Oh! Gasps from the crowd. What? No, it's true. Guys, I don't know why, but I did not find anything that I wanted. Seriously, there was nothing I even was oh, maybe I want this. I feel like they just did not have a lot of good stuff this year. What? I had the best time. I love Broadway Cares. There wasn't anything for me there. And I'm a big Broadway girl, but I just felt like I don't know. I didn't find anything I wanted. I wanted to come on to From the Mezzanine today and give you a huge haul of all of the amazing finds. But there just wasn't anything I wanted. I feel like since I've lived in New York for over 2 years, I really value getting signatures, but I value more that moment of connection between the person you love and them giving you a signature. So a lot of the items at the Broadway Flea that are signed, it's just a quick signature. I don't really value that. I don't really want that unless it's from somebody that I can't afford their signature, like Stephen Sondheim or Idina Menzel. It's okay, I'm not going to pay over $100 for that. when I could have gotten her signature at Redwood. You know what I mean? And so now I'm like, oh, I just don't want to like dish out. Like, it's not even about the cash. It's more of like, I don't value that quite as much because I think I'll have like the opportunity to get Adina's signature in the future if I really want it. And I would value that connection moment with her over like having her signature on an item. I hope you understand that. And then otherwise, like it was a little less busy since they extended to another side of the street this year. But you still had to fight to get to the front of a table. And once you were like at the front of the table, you could kind of only look at the items that were within reaching distance. Like you couldn't like go down a table and look at other items. Honestly, like maybe in the future, I'm going to go after 2 p.m. once most people have left because it just wasn't super enjoyable to actually sift through everything. And you find cool things when you can really dig, but I did do some digging. I just didn't find anything that I wanted. The only thing that I almost bought was they did have these pieces of jewelry that were created out of a chandelier from the Jacobs Theater, and I thought those were really beautiful. And at the end of the flea, I was like, okay, you know what? I'll go back. I'll buy one of those just so I have something. And I go and they have like one bracelet left and there's a big brown mark on the crystal. And I'm like, okay, I'm not spending money on that. I'm not going to buy that. I know it all goes to an amazing cause, but I would rather go to Broadway Bears or something like that than like buy stuff that I don't need. And also living in New York, I don't have a humongous apartment to store all of these items. And if I like buy a playbill, it's just gonna go into my shoe boxes where I store my playbills. It's just like, it doesn't make sense for me to buy a lot of things that I don't necessarily need. Even though like I'd love to add new items to my backdrop over here, there was nothing that was like uniquely what I was looking for. I was interested in getting like merch from the creative goods table from last 5 years because I love their merch. I asked them if they had any last 5 years merch and they were like, sorry, it closed too recently. I would have loved to get like Dead Outlaw items, but I assume that probably closed too recently too. I didn't see anything I didn't already have for Dead Outlaw. So it just like wasn't my flea in terms of shopping, which is fine. They raised more than they ever have previously. So clearly I'm alone in this. Just like out here alone with nothing from the Broadway Flea. But, you know, I think it's okay too. But I am sad that like I wasn't able to like donate to Broadway Care. So I'll commit to like going to one of their events or something because that's the value I see in it more so than like having an item. It's like, it's all going to such an amazing cause. And you guys, they grossed, LOL, they raised $1.6 million at the Broadway Flea. That is crazy. The top 3 shows that raised the most money, this is not going to be a surprise to you, are The Outsiders. If you waited in that Outsiders line, power to you. You are a real tried and true fan. There was no way I was getting in that line. How long did you wait? If you waited, please message me. I'm so curious how long you actually had to wait in that line because I'm pretty sure it was like 2 hours, 3 hours. Like I didn't see it moving much, I'm going to be honest. And there was no way I was jumping into that line. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I'm not a line waiter kind of person. I can't just stand there. No, thank you. But power to you because y'all allowed The Outsiders to raise $74,000 for Broadway Cares. That's insane. Our second top record-breaking show that raised the most money was Hadestown. They are far below The Outsiders and they raised $48,000. That is not surprising to me. Hadestown has such cult followers that adore it, especially like the tourists and the fans who are probably came in for the Broadway Flea and expected to drop some money at the Hadestown booth. Hadestown, y'all, the fans are just out of this world. Death Becomes Her, though, is kind of surprising to me. They were the third top musical to raise the most money, and they raised $42,000. Oh, okay. And then I thought this was so crazy. Some of the items that were auctioned off that raised the most money were an Assassins poster that was signed by Stephen Sondheim himself. I want you to guess in your head, what do you think that went for? And then I'm going to shock you when I say $20,000. The price of a small car was the amount somebody spent on an Assassins poster with Stephen Sondheim's signature. Crazy. And Juliet auctioned off a Broadway debut in their show, and that went for $17,000. Oh my gosh, for somebody to make their Broadway debut. Honestly, like, to me, I can't rationalize $17,000 at all. Absolutely not. But like, those opportunities where you got to actually be in the Broadway show, that is so cool. A My Fair Lady print by Al Hirschfeld, which I love his prints, of Julie Andrews. That went for $16,000. And then also, apparently they were auctioning off a ton of opening night tickets to a lot of shows. And there were 13 shows that did that. And all of those shows combined made $55,000. But the top opening night ticket was Ragtime. That went for $15,000. I was kind of surprised by that. I wouldn't have thought Ragtime would have been the top. I probably would have thought Chess. But I'm glad it was Ragtime. Chess was the runner-up, and that was $8,000 for opening night tickets. But you also get to go to the after party, I think. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But it's like, that's not so insane. I can kind of rationalize it. But yeah, congratulations to Broadway Cares on your massive success of the Broadway Flea. Please always keep doing it. It's the best day ever. It's so much fun. And next year, I promise, like, I'll be more determined and I'll try to buy more things, I guess. Or I just hope that they have like better items. I'm sorry. I just felt like the items weren't all that. Okay, moving on. We have some very, very exciting news because it was a big week for the Wicked fans. You guys, we got the final trailer for Wicked for Good. It revealed quite a lot, but if you'll remember back to Wicked Part 1, I felt like they were releasing the entire movie before it came out. I felt like they were giving everything away. I was like, please leave something up to the imagination for when we finally get to see it in theaters. But Wicked for Good, I feel like they're withholding just a little bit. This final trailer, it was amazing. Starts out, and you see how Madame Morrible and the Aussians are embracing Glinda. The whole Emerald City is no longer all green. It is green and pink. It is a dream. It looks beautiful. I love it. But you can tell that Madame Morrible is bribing the heck out of Glinda. She sees her bubble. There's all of these little children, these little mini Glindas that are welcoming her. It's a very sweet moment. And then you hear, ha, 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 ha. And here comes Elphaba. And we hear her no good deed. Ha, no good deed goes unpunished. Why do I even try? Like, people are hearing this. Why do I even try? I'm so sorry. Okay, so then we like catch up with what is Elphaba up to. Oh, she's got her very, very, very cool and creepy and dark lair with all of the monkeys flying. And oh my gosh, it looks so freaking epic. And then we see Elphaba and Fiero when they rise into the air singing As Long As You're Mine. Oh my God. Oh my God. They gave us so much, but they also gave us so many clipped, quick moments that were just like, oh my gosh, there's that. Oh, there's that. There's that. Oh, ah, 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 ah. We also got to see the fight between Glinda and Elphaba. We can't all come and go by Bubble. They get mad at each other. We see Nessa. And we knew, I remember reporting this on From the Mezzanine a while ago. We knew that the moment that Nessa like gets a taste of power, it was not going to be her ability to walk, because they didn't want the disabled community to think that their disability was something that needed to be overcome. And so instead, she floats into the air. So I assume she now has the power of flying, which I think is much better, much more evergreen than the ability to walk. And that moment, it's so sinister when you know what is actually happening in the movie. It looks like or in the trailer, sorry, it looks like Nessa like is rising and she's like laughing and she looks so happy. It's like, yay, Nessa is having a moment. It's like, nah, girl, Nessa about to get bad. But I loved that moment. And then we also got to see just a moment. This is a spoiler alert. I assume everybody who is listening to From the Mezzanine is aware of what happens in Wicked and who turns into whom. But there is a quick moment that we get to see Buck as the Tin Man. I do not see Ethan Slater in that Tin Man whatsoever. I paused it. I looked at it. I listened. I was like, that does not sound nor look like Ethan Slater. And he says, what have you done to me? Wow. We see the cute little cowardly lion. We see some moments from Wonderful. It was great. We see Elphaba reach for the scarecrow's head, and we just see the back of the scarecrow, and I think to myself, is there a world in which Fiyero is hotter as a scarecrow? I think we're going to find that out. I think we are, and I kind of see it happening. I'm very excited to see the face of Jonathan Bailey as a scarecrow. I'm looking forward to that. There's a moment that is highly quotable that is not in the musical. It's new for the movie, where Elphaba says, don't look at me with your eyes, to Glinda. Look at me with theirs. And people are like so mad that I didn't know what that meant the first time I watched the trailer. I posted my reaction on Instagram and TikTok, and everybody's like, this is what it means. And I'm like, thank you. The 10th person who explained the meaning to me, that's when it clicked and I understand it now. Thank you so much. Like, it's just hysterical. It's so funny how people think they need to like explain things online. And then other people are like, it's pretty obvious. I'm like, yeah, like I was watching it for the first time and I hadn't ever heard that before. And I just didn't get it instantly in that moment. But you really cleared it up for me. Thank you. Wicked fans, like I am one of them. I am one of the biggest ones. I know that in my heart. I almost got scammed this week. I got an email. To me, I just wanted it to be legitimate so bad that I looked past the red flags and I thought I was going to get this fan exclusive package from the Wicked movie. They were like, we've seen what you've been doing. We want to reward you. And I was like, yes. Then they asked me for a WhatsApp and I was like, dang it. Oh, well. But anyways, I am a big fan. But some of y'all out there, not the Broadway Besties, never the Broadway Besties. Some of y'all be crazy and a little over the top. Let's just say that. But it's okay. Anyways, another moment in the trailer I wanted to note. It looks like there's going to be a big battle scene, like way bigger than is in the musical, with Elphaba versus like the Aussians and the army, the Emerald City Army guys. Like she like thwacks one of them with her broom. It looks amazing. Of course, it's going to be incredible. I can't wait for November 21st. I'm really looking forward to it. This is my plea. This is my beg. I'm on my hands and knees. I have my prayer hands to the sky. Please, oh great wise one, please, of the Emerald City, please invite me to a premiere. I would really appreciate it, and I would have a great time if this reaches the right audience. I hope I get to go because that would be really fun. Okay, next news story. We can't talk about Wicked for forever, all right? So let's talk about zombies and Addison from Zombies coming to Broadway. Meg Donnally, our queen from the Zombies franchise. Love her. She's opposite Milo Manheim in one of the best movies that Disney has ever put out, dare I say. She's coming to Moulin Rouge. Yes, this could not be more me-coded. I love it. Meg Donnally will be our Satine starting on November 11th through March 1st. It is just under 4 months. You can catch her in this limited engagement. It's extremely exciting. All's this to say, Milo better be next. You hear me? Do you hear me, Moulin Rouge casting team? I know this would never happen, but I beg of you, please make Milo Christian. It's probably not going to happen while Meg Donnally is in the role. I understand that. Like, that would be too much for anyone to bear, that like these two beautiful zombie people would be in a musical opposite each other in a relationship together. Like, I know that's just like too much of a stretch. I bet Disney would have some problems with that. So just later on, don't make us wait too long. Please cast Milo Manheim as Christian. He would be an amazing Christian. I think it would be very John Cardoza coded, like very young, boyish, and naive, which is my favorite version of Christian. Sorry, Aaron Tveit, you're an amazing Christian. You're so, so pretty, and I love you. But I do love when Christian is like a 20-year-old. Did we ever talk about the fact? We did, didn't we? That Aaron Tveit is married. We talked about that last week, right? If I didn't talk about it on From the Mezzanine, I definitely talked about it with the Broadway Besties. So I'll leave that be. I won't get back onto that high horse. But yeah, I definitely want Milo to come over to the Rouge. He would be perfect. I also want him to be in The Outsiders. I want him to be in everything. He's amazing. But I'm very happy for Meg. Let's let her have her moment. She says in a statement, quote, "I cannot believe I am saying the words, I'm making my Broadway debut. What? I have been dreaming of this moment since birth, and it's hard to fathom it is even real. I am beyond excited to play Satine and to be joining this incredible show, cast and crew. You can tell it is truly a family at the Moulin Rouge. Everyone has been extremely welcoming and supportive. I'm so happy to be surrounded by theater kids again. I'm coming home. This whole time I keep picturing what little me would be thinking. I'm doing this for her," quote. So cute. I definitely want to see her. I think she's going to be a star. I think she's going to be beautiful. She's going to be very young. Like, I just, of course, see her as Addison in Zombies, like a high schooler. But I think she's going to be fabulous. I love it. Yay! Yay for this. And our last news story for this week. It's a quick one, but an exciting one. Ragtime is releasing a cast album. It is coming out this winter. Date is still TBD, but it's coming. They are recording the cast album in the coming month, and it's coming out. I love that they've already announced this. They have us on the edge of our seats. Ragtime just started previews at the Lincoln Center. I have heard, you guys, my one little critique of Ragtime was that I didn't like the set. We know City Center, they don't go all out for their sets. They go all out for their productions. Their productions are amazing, but their sets are very minimalistic. And I was really, really, really hoping that for their Broadway transfer, they were going to amp up that set. Turns out, no. There are a few new additions. Apparently, there's a new screen. There's some new prop elements, but for the most part, it's the same as City Center, which womp womp. That's a little disappointing, but it's okay. The production is still amazing. The cast is incredible. And how fabulous is it going to be to get to hear Wheels of a Dream belted by Joshua Henry whenever we want once this cast album comes out this winter. Very excited. And I need to go see Ragtime. I love it. Well, Broadway Besties, this was a really good and much needed catch up. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok at From the Mezzanine Broadway. You can find all things From the Mezzanine at FromTheMezzanine.com. You can find access to the Patreon there. It's $5.99 a month. I do a bonus episode called Meet Me at the Stage Door every single week, and I'm about to record it. So I'm going to catch up with my Broadway Besties over on the Patreon. You can also have access to the Meet Me at the Stage Door through Spotify. You guys, I'm gonna make a special request. Special request? Is anyone taking them? Okay, you are? Thank you. Thank you for listening this long. Would you please leave me a rate and review wherever you are listening? It does amazing things for the podcast. I love reading them, and I would just really appreciate it. So please leave me a rate and review. You guys are the best. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye!